All right, we are live. I believe we are on live now. Welcome, everybody. I have Abe Brown here, who is my good friend, my
We are
business
on
partner.
live now.
Oh,
Welcome,
and I need to just turn that
everybody.
off here.
I have.
Okay, so we are live. That's true. And I always forget to do that, Abe.
Me too.
He is one of my mentors, and Abe is the founder of Flourishing Life Coaching, which I am an investor in. I am a facilitator as well, who certifies people to become life coaches. And I'm also the director of business for business development for coaches here. So it is such a it's so deeply in my heart to be here, and I feel so honored to be part of Flourishing Life Coaching. Thank you so much, Abe, for this collaboration.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be with you here today, and all of your many friends and fans and followers. What a joy. I'm at home, so I've got the right shirt on today.
Yes,
Anyways,
you do.
I have another shirt. Actually, it's not true, but it says loser, and I keep that one off. And I put this one on. I'm just joking. I don't actually have a shirt like that,
You're
but
choosing. You're choosing. You can consciously
I think
choose.
a lot of people, they just go around like that, because it's a story they're telling themselves, So it's the right shirt, and
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And we're gonna do a really short live today. This is gonna be less than 10 minutes. What we are going to talk about today is top high performance soul-led leadership hacks. So first of all, don't keep scrolling. You are a leader, period. You are a leader in all your roles. So as a parent, you're a leader. As a community member, in your career, in your business, in your partnerships. So you are a leader, okay? And Abe is here to share with us just a few hacks. So there's many, but just a few of the top hacks that would be supportive to you to start to open up more to your soul-led leadership power, no matter what role, no matter where you're at in your life, in your relationships, in your career, your business. Okay. And I just want to quickly say, if you're feeling really into this conversation, you may have already seen we are putting out October 5th to 7th, a 3-day Flourishing Summit. Okay, it is going to be very powerful. So if you've been leaning more into the conversations with me and Connie, myself and Abe, you've been checking out their stuff, you're probably already clear about what the summit is. And if you're not, you're tuning in first time, welcome.
Welcome.
All right, I'm going to hand it over to you, Abe.
Yeah, no, thanks, Roz. And I love what you're saying, that everyone is a leader. I think one of the biggest lies we can tell ourselves, right? And I think there's two reasons why we do it. But I think one of the biggest lies is I'm not a leader. And I think the two reasons we do it, number one, is because, we have that negative story in our head. But I think secondly, if we're honest with ourselves, leadership is really about service, and it's about the desire to make a positive impact in the people around me, in their lives. And so if I believe the lie that I'm not a leader, well, then all I need to focus on is me, myself, and I. And so, when we're going into this summit next week, we're actually into the middle of a world where rates of depression and anxiety and just plain sadness and grief have never been greater, right? Because we are still in the midst of this global pandemic, and no matter how many vaccines we get, and I mean, COVID is still spreading and issues are still emerging, and hey, I'm pro-vaccine, but the reality is that we're in a tough place right now, just as humanity. And so we decided to do the Flourishing Summit because we thought, in the middle of languishing, let's flourish. We can still thrive. And one of the things I've discovered about a leader and in terms of being a high performer is that there are hacks, right? And the reason I call them hacks, and you've heard this, it's not like I made this term up, but it's because it helps me to generate a result very quickly. I don't have to think about it that much. After I've already thought about it, I can just apply it. And the first hack that I'd love to share is what I call the habit hack. And that's this idea that your life and its trajectory has everything to do with the habits that you employ. And so
Mhm.
even before we hopped on this call, Roz, we were talking about some habits that we have. I mean, every single day I get up at the same time, I do the same things. And the reason I do that is not, just because I'm boring, because I'm not that exciting, but it's because I recognize that my body, my mind, my emotions, even my spirit will
Yes.
thrive in the power of routine. We all have a
Yes.
routine. It's not a question of, as to if you have one. The question is, are the routines that you have serving to
Mm.
optimize the best version of yourself? And that's a question that I'm constantly thinking about.
And I just want to have the audience really breathe that in, like really reflect on that question. What are your habits? And are they serving and supporting you to optimize your leadership? Your
Yeah, I
leadership.
mean, we all have, like, it's kind of crazy that, but it's true. We all have different versions of ourselves, and that doesn't
Yes.
necessarily mean that there's something wrong with us. It actually, it's very normal to have different versions, right? I have a version of myself around the house that I don't necessarily share with the world, and that's probably a good thing. But
Only if your wife gets to see it.
That's right, and she loves me the way I am, and I'm grateful for that. But there's an incredible version of you. There's a high performing version of you.
Yes.
There's a version of you that is impactful, a version of you that's truly the light, a version of you that is truly bringing healing to others. You know it. You don't even need me to tell you. But the question today is not, is that version there? The question is, are you optimizing? Are you allowing that version of yourself to come out, platforming it, to have the opportunity to really serve and to thrive? And so that's one of the hacks that I talk about. Another hack, and I love this one so much, is the integrity hack. And we hear a lot about integrity today, and it's interesting because I like to get into the root meaning of words. The word integrity comes from integer or integral, and it's this idea of being whole, right? It's like a whole number. And when you think about your life, integrity and authenticity are so aligned.
Yes.
It's nearly impossible to have integrity if you don't have authenticity. It's impossible to be authentic if you don't have that integrity. And what
Mhm.
happens, and why it is integrity have something to do with high performance, is because most of us, we're in this place where we're wrestling with our minds, right? When we're not in integrity. And so we're thinking so much about the discrepancies or the lack of congruence in our lives, the lack of alignment, that it's impossible for us to truly perform at a high
Mhm.
level. And I'm sure you've had clients and people you've worked with like that before, eh, Rosalyn?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like when and it could be consciously you want the transformation or you want the results, whatever those are. But if deep inside there's still those limiting beliefs that are holding you back, then that's what's going to keep showing up until you work on shifting those limiting beliefs. And integrity is really about doing the inner work. I always preach about the inner work, taking personal and spiritual accountability. What this is happening for me, even though it doesn't feel good,
Yeah.
and really looking at what is it here that I'm needing to learn, because eventually you learn what you need to teach.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
right. And you think about it and you think to yourself, okay, well, if I'm not in integrity, then the easiest thing is to just come back into it. You
Yes,
don't have to, you don't have to go to a church, or you don't have to do anything weird. You just need to make that shift internally where you say, okay,
that's
here's
right.
what I'm going to do. I'm going to move from where I was to where I want to be.
Yes.
And that's a critical one. Let me give you one more, and then I know
Perfect.
we got to
Yeah.
go. And it's what I call the honor hack. And this is the idea of who am I honoring? And I think, Roz, you practice this so well. I find that high performers practice this so well. It's this idea of giving honor. And it's not something we hear a lot about today, because we've all been let down by people. We've all had our hearts broken. We've all been disappointed. We've all, experienced that pain. But
Yes.
one of the things I've discovered is that when I live in the place of honor, my own sense of self is much more harmonious than when I'm
Mm-hmm.
in that place of anger and in that place of bitterness. And I don't want my own anger or resentment towards another person to get inside my soul. I want to make sure that I keep myself in a posture of honoring. And that doesn't necessarily mean close relationship with everybody. but it's that I see the good. It's kind of like our moms told us, if you don't have anything good to say, you don't say it, and just keep supportive, keep honoring, keep positive. So those are a couple of things. I hope that helps.
I love that. Well, and I want to tag on to that, the honoring piece, even with people who are triggering us. And it's again, you guys have seen my news feed. It's about taking spiritual accountability. Like, what is this a mirror for me? What is this is a mirror for me? How is it a mirror for me? What do I need to clear? And to be transparent, before Abe and I came on this live, I shed a few tears because I can feel there's something coming up to be cleared. There's challenges in my life, we'll say, and energetically, I can feel that it needs to be cleared because I also know I'm leveling up in my life, in my business, and I cannot be carrying this old shit with me. No thanks. And we all got shit. So it's like clearing that out and then being able to shift into this focus. Like, I know logically, and I just still energetically need to clear it. So the honoring is looking at the people, the circumstances that are triggering us, and using this as a sacred, we'll say, like, mirror for us, so that we can do our work, clear it, and then have that clean new energy moving into the next level version. So very quickly, thank you so much, Abe. Can you please share, because you will be one of the speakers on the Flourishing Summit, more about what you're speaking on, and anything that you feel called to speak of, to really answer any maybe questions about this summit that people have been asking?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the summit itself, like you said, it's going to happen October 5th, 6th, and 7th, and we're so excited about it. I'm going to be talking, if you can imagine, right after Dr. Carolyn Leaf. And we all know Dr. Carolyn Leaf. She's internationally celebrated, just in so many ways. And I kind of feel, like, well, after she speaks, everybody's probably going to go home because it's going to blow them away. And
he's so humble, you guys.
But she, so what I'm going to be talking about the day that I'm speaking is about leadership. And in a lot of ways right now, we are facing an energy challenge. And I'm not talking, carbon or climate. I'm talking internal personal energy. And this idea of what kind of energy am I going to bring to the table? So that's what we're going to talk about. How is it that as a leader, I can show up, I can be fully present, and I can radiate flourishing type of energy? But we have such an incredible group of speakers. Please, folks, take advantage. Actually, the price is going up in about 2 days, and so
that's right.
Early bird is going to expire, so make sure you get in there now.
That's right. And you guys, for $97 for all 3 days is incredible. Okay, that's like the seat for all 3 days, not just each day. And the value of the summit is thousands of dollars. Okay, so go and check it out. I'll post a link in the comments, and DM me. Let me know if you have any questions. But we'd love to see you in there. I'm so excited to be co-facilitating the more intimate group sessions, so that what you're learning from the speakers, we're going to actually bring it into your life and help you really learn how to integrate it, customize it for a path for you. Okay, so can't wait to see you guys there. Thank you so much, Abe.
Okay, thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye.